Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Roxin's Weekly. We've got some more news for you, as is the tradition of this show. If you're interested in the things we're talking about, there will be links to all of the relevant stories below in the description. And if you enjoy this, why don't you give us a like, maybe subscribe, because that way you'll be kept in the loop of all the other stuff that we're going to be putting up here, because there's going to be more stuff than just news going on this channel eventually. First things first, and probably the biggest news of the week, and this is breaking at the time of recording, now former Lamb of God drummer Chris Adler has taken to Facebook to release a statement pertaining as to why he has left the band and been replaced by Art Cruz. He starts the statement by saying, "Allow me to start with the relative concept of understanding. We all gave our lives to this. 26 years is not flippant. Each one of us sacrificed and lost much on a personal level to live the dream that we had when we were kids. I will always love each member of the band for believing in me and agreeing to take on the world. We managed to find some love in the machine, but in turn it took things that cannot be recovered." He goes on to say, "I did not leave the dream. I did not make the decision to leave my life's work. The truth is that I am unwilling to paint by numbers. There is an ambiguous concept in our world of selling out. I cannot define that outside of my personal understanding, but I know that being trapped in a creative formula and or playing the same song 10,000 times did not bolster my love of playing. I've never been one to phone it in. I'd rather mow the grass." So we can read quite a lot into this statement. What Chris is saying about the paint by numbers and selling out could reference the next Lamb of God project. Perhaps he feels that the band's heart isn't in it anymore. Although more likely it feels that he is not able to deliver what he wants his fans to experience. He may feel that he is, as he says, phoning in his performance, almost that he's lost the passion for it. What this says for the next Lamb of God record is that Chris Adler did not feel that he would be best suited for it, whether dissatisfied with his own ability or the direction the band were heading in. So perhaps we're going to get something completely new from Lamb of God next time around, or maybe Chris just didn't feel that it was appropriate for him to play in the band anymore. At the time of recording, there has been no statement from Lamb of God, so it's best not to read too much into this, but for now know that Chris Adler has at least addressed the situation. If you'd like to read the full statement beyond the screenshot that will have been on screen, there will be a link to his Facebook post down below. Now, there's been quite a lot of festival news this week, and where to start but the UK's premier metal festival, Bloodstock. Bloodstock have announced that Paradise Lost will be playing Draconian Times in full, and Life of Agony and Diamond Head have both bagged themselves main stage slots. But that's not all. There is one rather controversial booking. Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals will be performing a vulgar display of Pantera set. This has been met with some disdain by the online metal community, as Phil Anselmo has become rather infamous of late for his racist outbursts, the most recent of which occurred at Dime Bash in 2016 when he threw a Nazi salute and screamed white power into the audience. The story is rather long and complex and I shan't go into it here, but Phil essentially tried to blame this on his drunkenness, claiming that white wine was in the green room and that it was just an inside joke. Rob Flynn came out to denounce this, and the whole thing got rather messy and has never really been fully resolved. This incident was followed up by a number of videos resurfacing of him in the 80s and 90s making similar statements about white pride and other racially charged comments. It's undeniable that what he said has very strong connotations of racism and are pretty undeniable as racist slogans, but whether you think the man himself is prejudiced or not is purely up to you. It seems that people aren't overly pleased with this latest announcement. It's been overshadowed by Phil's actions, which is a great shame because Bloodstock's a brilliant festival and generally does a very good job of booking the best bands. On to Slam Dunk now. Slam Dunk have announced their second wave of acts, including second headliner Sum 41. Joining the already pretty damn good lineup will be Billy Talent, The Used, The Story So Far, Basement, Grayscale, Dream State, the return of Punkin Drublic, which has so far confirmed NoFX and Pennywise, and reunions from We Are The In Crowd and Your Demise. This announcement has got a lot of people very excited, particularly fans of We Are The In Crowd and Your Demise. It's very exciting to see them back. And the second year of Punkin Drublic is always going to be a wonderful time. It's a great miniature festival within the larger Slam Dunk umbrella. Finally, moving slightly international, Brutal Assault have announced a whole host of bands. We haven't actually covered Brutal Assault on the channel so far, so I will simply give you the lineup as it stands now. Performing at the Chechen Festival in alphabetical order will be 1914, Arcturus, Asphyx, Atari Teenage Riot, Author and Punisher, Beyond Creation, Cradle of Filth, Dark Funeral, Despised Icon, Draconis Infernum, Evoken, Frontiera, Havoc, Hentai Corporation, Kvelatac, Mains, Mass Infection, Me and That Man, Mercure, Necrophobic, Nocturnus AD, Ottoni Pesanti, Penes Nocturnus, Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals performing a vulgar display of Pantera, Razor, Rings of Saturn, Psy, Static X, Toxic Holocaust, Vader, Venom, While She Sleeps, and Wormrot. As you can see, this is a pretty complete bill already, although they do claim that there will be 130 bands at this massive festival. So there's going to be plenty more to come, and we will update you as soon as they update us. Finally, to round out, we're going for a little bit of speculation, so this isn't proper news as of yet, but it's something to certainly get you excited. Code Orange have completely wiped their Instagram and replaced their profile picture with a pixelated version of themselves. What does this actually mean? Well, it's impossible to say for certain. At the time of recording, nothing has officially been announced, but we can only assume that given their pulling out of Bloodstock and other major European festivals this year to focus on studio time, we might see an announcement of their 4th full-length album sometime in the near future. With Forever, Code Orange helped reshape the hardcore landscape. They've really done a number on modern hardcore. There are a lot of imitators coming out already, and the album is only in its 2nd year out. So who knows quite where they'll go with album number 4. It'll definitely be a talking point. It will certainly be exciting, enthralling, hard, heavy, everything that you want from a Code Orange album, but probably more. We just can't tell at this time. Don't worry, as soon as there is an announcement, there will be an update on Roxins, whether it's as part of the weekly show or a special news bulletin, because I am super excited about the future of Code Orange, because they're the future of heavy music. This week on Roxins, there's been a whole host of stuff. We have been smashing out content. There have been reviews of Leprous, Mayhem, Rings of Saturn, Fit for an Autopsy. There's an interview with Wednesday 13. There's going to be a feature on Haggard Cat's Entombment that we covered last week. There's just so much stuff, I can't even remember it all, and I've got it written down. So if you'd like to see all of that, check out our site, because it's pretty bloody brilliant, if I do say so myself, and frankly, we're doing a really good job at the moment, so we hope you appreciate it. And the last bit of news related to the Sins world, rather than just Roxins, we're going to be launching a new website, Popsins. It will be focusing on more mainstream music and, well, pop, as the name suggests. So it's nice to say that in future you won't just be getting the best of rock and metal, you'll be getting the best of the whole musical spectrum from us. If you'd like to know what's going on with Popsins, follow us on our various socials, because there will be updates coming out as soon as they happen. There's talk of it on our podcast, which is linked below. The 3rd episode will be coming out very soon. And finally, I would just like to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this week. I certainly have. It's not been quite as heavy as the week before in terms of big news, but there's enough to whet your appetite for all things rock and metal. There's some brilliant stuff going on, as always. If you enjoyed this, give us a like, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you're excited for. How do you feel about the whole Lamb of God situation? Still a bit unclear, isn't it? And until next week, I bid you farewell.